one thing I'll never stop believing in is love. You know, love of family, love of friends. I think love makes the world go round and makes life journey wonderful.
Of course, our theme for the month, Don't Stop Believing. And I saw something at Target I had to pick up while I was there.
What?
Just in time for Christmas. It's the new shirt. Don't Stop Believing.
I saw your hands going to the buttons there, and I got a little nervous.
Whenever a man grabs his shirt, you gotta watch out.
You backed up.
You know what I love about that most, Matt? You can back me up on this.
Yes.
We both know Darren well enough to know that he's been sitting there the whole show waiting for his moment in time.
The funny thing is, that's his 7th shirt that he can just rip off like that. I only have one in my whole repertoire.
I got layers underneath, you know?
Don't Stop Believing.
That's amazing.
We brought Matt, Studio 5 relationship coach Matt Townsend, here to sit in and be accountable.
Yes.
We're holding his feet to the fire about something that he said last time he was here. Take a look.
That all took place when I was jacked up. Still are jacked up. Jacked up people with little jacked up people around us. Be less jacked up.
So we're wondering about the term jacked up, since clearly it's your go-to phrase.
It's my go-to phrase, and it means one who is not jacked properly. Therefore, they are jacked up.
Are you supposed to be jacked down? Is that would be
I've never used jacked down ever.
Okay.
Jacked up is somebody that's not using the right brain. They're not using the healthy brain.
Oh.
They're hijacked.
They're hijacked.
They're emotionally out of control. They're jacked up. Isn't that a cool phrase? I'm writing a book called Jacked Up. I really am. It's really good. You guys are both in the book, by the way.
Oh, really? You're saying we're jacked up?
Not saying anything till the book comes out.
I actually remember you once upon a time back in your early days of Studio 5 relationship coaching. Didn't he used to ask, can I say that on TV?
Can I say jacked up?
Now he doesn't ask
Now
anymore.
I don't care.
Now he's over it.
It's now part of who I am.
The world's jacked up.
Totally.
This is not the only reason we had Matt in here to talk about being jacked up. He's actually going to stick around. He's going to talk about the power of persuasion, how to make it work in your everyday life. Matt, not being jacked up, being level jacked?
Jacked perfectly.
Okay.
More of that when we come back, but first, can we just see that shirt rip one more time? Send us to commercial break, D. We'll be right back with Matt and more advice on Studio 5. Very nice. Welcome back to Studio 5. From a hobby to a charity to a value or belief, there are things that you are passionate about and you want to share. So how can you get others to believe in your cause?
Studio 5 relationship coach Matt Townsend back again with us to talk about this.
I'm passionate.
Yes, you are. Now, what's the point of this? How do we benefit from being able to persuade somebody?
Well, apparently, none of us want to be alone in the crazy things we do. So we want to enroll everyone else into what we do, whether it's our religion or our multi-level marketing opportunity or just our family values. We want everyone to be like us. And then we get frustrated when everyone runs away from us.
Well, and I was just going to say, isn't that funny? Because when you think about someone with extreme passion, we're talking over-the-top passion, want to communicate their message to you, you do run.
You do run.
You want to go the other direction.
You don't want to be like that. Because we're going to talk about that. That's not passion, that's obsession. There's a difference.
Okay.
That's someone who would be
One
jacked
you can
up.
actually, that's jacked up. One you can actually go to the hospital for.
Okay.
And one you just get a lot of good friends. So 4 things we're going to talk about.
Because we want the good friends. We want to feel like we have people around us.
Good friends. So one of the keys is, it's the most important really, is you got to know what you believe, right? So if you really want to be passionate and get people enrolled in it, they've got to believe you really know what you believe. And I believe, honestly, most of us don't spend much time on this one. Now, in business, I learned a really neat thing. I had a business consultant come in and say, great, 10 seconds, tell me what you do.
In 10 seconds?
And he made me, in 10 seconds, describe what I do. I change people's lives through relationship skills and tools. But I had to figure that out. Is that what I do? And then he said, great, 1 minute, tell me what you do. So we went through this process of trying to identify. Now, I could tell you and explain it in 2 hours at first, but eventually I had to focus on what I do. I can't do everything, and I can't do everything for everyone, but I need to know what I am, what I believe, what I'm doing. If you're passionate about something, you ought to know what it is. And you might just say scrapbooks. That's all I care about, are scrapbooks. What about scrapbooks? Connecting to my family and friends through scrapbooking.
Could you be more sincere? We're going to run you out of the building with our scrapbooking pro staff.
That was sincere voice.
Am I right?
So whatever you're passionate about, you got to know it. And I believe that's with everything. Whatever you believe, if people know you don't know, then they're not going to be as willing to follow you. We follow people that really know. that really care and know what they believe.
Well, and I think that 10-second exercise is kind of interesting. It would be something interesting for us all to do, because you really only have people's attention for so long.
That's right,
so
24
if you really
seconds.
There you go. So if you want to get the message out, you've got to know what the message is.
Boom, fast.
That'd be a good example, a good little practice for someone at home right now, as if we were there saying, what is it? What are you passionate about? 10 seconds or less.
And it may not matter if you're not trying to enroll me into it. But if you want to enroll me into something like a business opportunity, what is it? Give me the 10-second version, 30-second version, 1-minute version. Okay, those are called elevator speeches. If I had you on the elevator for 1 minute, what would you say?
Like that.
What would your pitch be? Okay. Yeah. The second key is show passion, not obsession.
Oh,
and there's a
difference. Yeah, the obsession.
There's a difference between someone that's super passionate and someone that's obsessed. Okay, the biggest key is, does everything always go back to your passion? If every conversation, if every trip to your house, if every visit always drops back to, hey, have you seen my colonoscopy? I've got to show you this. The minute someone's pulling out a colonoscopy, they're obsessed, okay? Even if there was a juice that saved them from a bad colonoscopy. Can I say colonoscopy on TV? Okay, because I just did. But see, that's obsessive. If all of a sudden everything has to come back to your grandchildren, you're going to lose people. At some point, you can be bigger than that. You can show passion, and this is where you go to a party and we have to watch someone else's videos. This is where you go to a party. Have you ever been just cornered by somebody that just wants, I just got to tell you, I got to show you this thing. Because I saw you did it on Studio 5, and then they just talk about this one thing, and you're trapped, okay? I pay people in my life to get me out of those situations. And they literally, if they see that I'm trapped, I will have people that will come up and say, hey, Matt, oh, we need you over here, and they'll, like, remove me. So here's one of the ways, too, to know if you're obsessed, is are you losing people that are less and less inclined of wanting to hear your story or your message? You should be, if you're passionate, be drawing. You should be an attractor. People that are obsessive are like, what's the word? We kind of become repelled by them. Passionate people should be attractive to us.
And this can apply to good things, like you said, religion, or I'm thinking of weight loss, people that have lost weight in a certain way. These are great things, but you lose people sometimes in the approach.
So just watch your results. Are people getting closer to you? Are they coming to you asking you about the idea? Because if you're obsessed, no one's going to ask you, hey, show me that colonoscopy video again. That was great.
So once again, a little test at home. If people are coming to asking you about your passion, that's a good sign.
That's a great sign.
If they don't want to bring it up, that means you're obsessed.
That means you're an attractor. You're starting to attract people to something you're passionate about, which means you're a light to the issue. You're a light to the passion, which is great if you have a cause, right?
Sure.
Okay, the third one is to be the billboard. Okay, now when I started my business, I actually put a billboard up. And it was the weirdest thing ever. It was only up for 6 months because I could only afford it for 6 months because they're really expensive. But I still to this day have people say, oh, I love your billboard. Your billboard was amazing. I saw it last week, and you're like, dude, it hasn't been up for 3 years. But they remember it. So here's why the billboard. You are the billboard of whatever you're trying to sell.
But it was a memorable billboard. I remember.
Well, do you remember that one? I had the big boa and the big hair. Yeah. It was a glamour shot. And I like the glamour shot on my billboard. But it was a very simple billboard. But I love it for 2 reasons. Number one, it's impressions. People were getting impressions about this constantly, all these impressions, and it lasts forever, meaning they may not need the issue that I was presenting. They may not have marriage stress then, but after getting 6 months of impressions about it, in those 6 months, somewhere they passed that billboard and needed it. So the benefit of you being your own billboard is you're constantly impressing people about your passion, about something healthy. Then when they actually need it, then they can come back to you on it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So the reason billboards work is because they don't move. They're immovable. They tend to be unchanging. The message can be the same over and over and over, which is if you want to persuade people what you need to be. Immovable, show passion. You don't have to go, the billboard doesn't show up in your living room and say, hey, here, we're irritating you. We just allow people to pass by it, and then when they need it, the message will matter. When they need it is when they come to you and start asking you about your issue, your passion.
Instead of poking people with this message, you're saying just let the message sit, and they'll know when they need that message to come to you.
Well, think about the people that you really want to follow are the ones that aren't coming irritating you at your house to talk about whatever they're trying to push, but they're just there when you need them.
Yeah.
Okay? And then the last one is, remember, we're focusing on people, not persuasion. The minute you have the motive of persuading somebody, you've changed the relationship. Just have the motive of connecting to the person. Being connected to another human being is the #1 way to persuade them. We are more persuaded by people that we love, the people that trust us, people that care about us. So try to connect with the person one-on-one instead of trying to make the sell. The minute you're so caught up in making the sell, you lose the human side. And when you lose the human side, you, my friend, are jacked up. And that needs to stop.
There it is right there.
You can always go full circle.
Yeah, I love that.
See the passion?
I see it. I feel it.
We're coming up on the holiday season. You got a nice little gift idea.
This is huge. Okay, I have a lot of, so I do these date nights. What we're starting to do with the date nights is I'm taking them to the people and to groups. So we're taking them, all my date nights are going to start going to schools. So if you're a PTA president, we'll come to a deal with you, or we'll partner with you on the date night. You bring the people, we'll do the date night, fundraiser, you make money, we make money kind of thing.
Fun.
But for Christmas, we're doing the same thing. So if you have a husband or spouse, or you have a business where you need a fun night for your Christmas party, I'll come in and do a date night about the differences between men and women. It's hilarious. We laugh, we cry. It's better than cats. But all you got to do is call us, 801-747-2121, or email me. I'm going to give you my personal email, matt@matttownsend.com. If you want information on that, we'll give you information. I'll come and speak. Tons of fun.
That's awesome. That'll be a memorable Christmas party.
Christmas party, yeah. Get them all jacked back down.
That's right. We'll jack them equally.
Fun. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks,
Watch
kids.
for his glamorous shot billboard on a freeway near you, and we'll be right back.
Tons of fun.